Here, let us know about concentric circles. Take the compass and draw a circle of any radius on a sheet of paper. With the same center, draw some more circles either by increasing or decreasing the radius as shown on the screen. We observe that the center is same for all the circles. Hence, the circles with a common center and different radii are called concentric circles. Matter. In a simple way, anything in this world that occupies space and has mass is considered as matter. Everything in our world is made up of matter. The scientists work on stuff. Even the air around us is matter, although we cannot see it. All the things around us which exist in a variety of shapes, sizes, and textures is matter. There are three states of matter, called solids, liquids, and gases. Matter can be changed from one state to another, like a solid to a liquid or a liquid to a gas. Let us now study the relationship between the inertia and mass. So far, we learned that inertia is the tendency of a body to maintain its state of rest or of uniform motion in a straight line. We know that if we kick a football, it flies away. But if we kick a stone of the same size with equal force, it hardly moves. We may, in fact, get an injury in our foot while doing so. Accordingly, we say that the object with more mass offers a greater resistance to change from its state of motion. Hence, we can conclude that heavier or more massive objects offer greater inertia. Quantitatively, the inertia of an object is measured by its mass. Thus, we may relate inertia and mass as follows. Inertia is the natural tendency of an object to resist a change in its state of motion or rest. Mass of an object is considered as the measure of inertia. The SI unit of mass is kilogram and is denoted as kg. One day, Shravani went to a nearby park with her friend Shruti. There, she saw a gardener cutting the tips of the plants with a cutter. Shravani got a doubt and asked the gardener to clarify it.
How do plants grow if the tips of them have been cut off?
He replied, branches will grow from the sides of the plant. Next, Shruti saw the other gardener watering a stump. She got a doubt and went to that gardener and asked,
Why are you watering the stump?
He said, the stump will soon bear the leaves. Both the friends had a question in their mind. How do the leaves come? Now, let us study about the tissues that help in growth, repair, and other functions in plant body.
Writing effective email tips. Write a meaningful subject line. Keep the message focused. Avoid unnecessary attachments. Identify yourself clearly. Be kind, don't flame. Proofread. Don't assume privacy. Distinguish between formal and informal situations. Respond promptly. Show respect and restraint.
In a democratic form, every 5 years in India, the Lok Sabha, the Parliament, and the Vidhan Sabha, the Legislative Assembly, are dissolved, and the people elect new representatives to run the government. This is known as the general election and is carried out at the same time across all constituencies. Sometimes, the Lok Sabha and the Vidhan Sabha are dissolved and an election is held before the expiry of their full term of 5 years. Such an election is called a mid-term election. At times, apart from the general election, an election may need to be held for a single constituency due to the untimely death or resignation of an elected member. The election carried out to fill this vacancy is known as a by-election. Going back to the case study on the 1987 elections in Haryana, do you recall that a total of 90 MLAs were elected? Well, any idea as to how this election happened? The first step in the election process is to divide the entire country or the state into several electoral constituencies. For example, for the Lok Sabha elections, the country is divided into 543 electoral constituencies.
India's climate is determined in winter. They bring in the western cyclonic disturbances in the north and northwestern regions of India. The coastal regions of the country are affected by tropical cyclones that are part of the easterly flow. These disturbances occur during the monsoon as well as in October and November. In summer, the subtropical westerly jet streams move north of the Himalayas with the apparent movement of the sun. An easterly jet stream, called the tropical easterly jet stream, blows over peninsular India, approximately over 14° north during the summer months.
What would the world be? Back in the year 1865, most of the basic means of livelihood of the forest-dwelling tribes were banned by the British. Let's see what happened. The forest tribes were largely dependent on the forest for their livelihoods. Villagers thought a good forest was one that provided them with their daily needs, such as fuel, fodder, and leaves. However, the British thought differently. They felt a good forest was one that provided timber for building ships and railways. Teak and sal were the most popular trees. For this purpose, the British passed the Indian Forest Act, which completely devastated the lives of villagers. The daily practices of villagers, such as cutting wood, grazing cattle, collecting fruits and roots, and fishing, were banned and made illegal. Forest-dwelling tribes largely depended on hunting small animals like deer, rabbit, and partridge for food. The British also imposed a ban on the hunting of small animals. However, they encouraged the sport of hunting of wild and dangerous animals like the elephant, lion, and tiger by giving rewards. In fact, if anyone was caught hunting illegally, they were severely punished for poaching. Even shifting cultivation, which had been practiced for several generations by the forest tribes, was banned. Shifting, or swidden cultivation, was an agricultural system in which plots of land were cultivated temporarily and then abandoned. The forest tribes depended on this a great deal. Shifting cultivation had a few disadvantages for the British, and so it was banned. The land became useless for growing timber, led to forest fires, and also resulted in soil erosion. Furthermore, it was difficult for the British to calculate taxes. The Indian Forest Act snatched away the means of livelihood of many of the nomadic and pastoral tribes. They were left with only two options: either give in and change their occupation, or take the stronger path and rebel. Some of them changed their occupation and were forced to work in tea and coffee plantations, mines, and factories at low wages, bad working conditions, and under strict government supervision. A few others stood up against the tyranny of the British, which led to many rebellions in the forests of India. While the Indian Forest Act was passed as a boon to the British, it proved to be a bane for the forest dwellers.
Let us start with a short story. The government is in the process of establishing Navodaya Vidyalayas in every district of the country to provide universal access to education to all children, with special emphasis on girls. The central government has also launched the Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan in partnership with the state and local governments. This is a time-bound initiative to provide free, compulsory elementary education to all children between 6 and 14 years of age by 2010. The 10th Five-Year Plan for 2002-2007 focused on increasing the enrollment of students from 18 to 23 years of age in higher education. The 10th Plan also aimed to combine formal, informal, and distance education to provide better access to education to students in all parts of the country.